What does an upside down pineapple really mean? Where can you get a little Nero's pizza? What the heck is a lollipop? Who gets to decide what can go in the overhead bin? What is Merriam-Webster's word for 2025? How did someone get stuck in Dulles Airport's baggage claim carousel? And how much would you pay for a Christmas tree? All of that and a lot more on the final episode of 2025. This is the Swish Edition.
Swish Edition, tune in for a listen. Travels, movies, and celebrities with Scott and Kristin. Swish Edition, it's where we all go. From pop culture silliness from coast to coast. It's where we belong. SwishEdition.com. SwishEdition.com.
So, Kristin, it is December 17th, and this is the last episode of 2025. Can you believe that?
That's crazy. When did I start?
The end of the year is almost here. You started
in the summer?
Late last winter. Yeah.
I did?
Yeah. Like
so
the
I've been
middle
doing
of
this for a year?
Well, not quite. I mean, I think it was like the spring or something. I don't know. You ain't no spring chicken, but I think it was the spring.
Seems like forever.
So I don't want to put any pressure on you, Kristin, because I know you get very upset when I do this. But
upset.
I have a little prop.
But you're going to do it anyway.
Santa says there's only 7 days left until Christmas.
That's super cute.
Yeah, you can change
That's very
it
cute.
with little blocks. Yeah.
But it gives me anxiety, so please don't show that again.
Yeah. I keep it right next to the coffee maker to remind me how many days are left.
To remind you to remind other people since you're all done.
Let me tell you, as soon as I sit down with my coffee in the morning, I pull open the weather app on my phone to see what it might be doing in New Jersey and what it's predicted to do in New Jersey when I arrive there on Sunday. Right now, it looks pretty decent. It's going to be cold as a motherfuck, but right now, it doesn't look like any precipitation. So
we had
about that.
Like a dusting of snow on Sunday.
Yeah.
And everything that it wasn't even enough to shovel, but everywhere that it fell, it froze. And our driveway, like
Skating
where
rink?
the cars weren't, it's a complete block of ice. So getting into the car in the morning, I almost bit it yesterday when I got out of the car because I forgot. So I swung open the door and plopped both of my feet down, and they both went out from under me. And luckily, like my top half was still able to grab the steering wheel. So
your top half, that's hilarious. You do have to be careful out there. We don't have that problem here. It was,
I guess not,
high 60s yesterday. I'm still wearing a sweater though. Look at us in our red and green sweaters. How
We're
cute
so
is
Christmassy. Too bad I don't look good in this color at all. It's not a flattering color. We should switch. I think you look better in red. I look better in green.
No, I don't look good in red or yellow. Those are my two least favorite
I don't look
colors.
good in yellow either.
Nobody looks good in yellow except for Gail King.
That's true.
Yeah.
I look really good in black, which is why my wardrobe is like a la Johnny Cash. Everything I own is black.
Well, if someone in your family dies, you'll be ready.
Exactly.
Listen, Kristin, Dale, the former co-host of the Swish Edition for 15 years, just sent this to me literally right before we started the show. Right as I was getting out of the shower, I saw this text from him. I think this is kind of fun. So, the Late Show with Stephen Colbert, the Late Show
canceled,
on CBS that is famously being canceled as of May of 2026. Well, he has decided to open an eBay auction site, and he is auctioning stuff off from the show to raise money for Chef Jose Andres' World Central Kitchen. All proceeds go to that.
Jose Andres.
Who couldn't love him more? I think he's one of the best celebrity chefs we have. He gives back. That is his main goal, in addition to making great food.
He's a humanitarian, and he's an amazing,
exacting
chef, but he doesn't trade on nastiness like Gordon Ramsay does, and being nasty to people. He's just a kind human being. I love him.
Well, it's funny. An aside to that is that Gordon Ramsay is the furthest thing from a nasty person in real life. It's a character.
I
It's a
know,
character he plays.
but I'm saying he trades on that in terms of making
Yeah.
money. That's like the draw of watch this show and watch him yell and scream at, poor unsuspecting sous chefs and shit like that.
Anyway, I wanted to tell you about some of the items that are up for auction on this Stephen Colbert eBay site. So he's actually auctioning off his pandemic era set desk that he used on the show. Current bid as of yesterday was $13,300 for that. He's also got an autograph script from episode number 1, his very first episode on CBS. That's was currently going for $4,700. His aviator glasses and Paul Rudd's People Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive issue was going for $10,000. Here's the one that people really want. It's 2 VIP tickets to the final episode that they're going to tape at the famed Ed Sullivan Theater in New York City. Of course, the date is yet to be decided, and that was going as of yesterday, $20,100.
You and I went there once upon a time, a long, long time ago, to see Letterman.
You and I have been there for Letterman. That's right. Do you remember who the guests were?
I have no idea.
I don't remember.
I just remember that it was so much tinier than it looks on TV. I couldn't believe how small it was. And it was absolutely freezing because Letterman famously wanted the theater freezing cold because it was hot under the lights on the stage.
Yeah. And when they showed the audience, most people still had their coats on because
we did.
So
we kept our long winter coats on the whole time. So these are obviously, I was thinking like just the pandemic area, but these have to be things that he owns, that he personally owns,
I assume
right?
So.
Except for the tickets to the theater.
Yeah.
Not things that CBS would have to give him permission. Yeah.
Right. So the current desk that it's using, I assume, is not up for auction as of right now.
Belongs to the production company. Yeah.
Although Colbert is lobbying hard for CBS to keep him on the air. He wants to keep his job. We'll see.
I'm sure he does.
Hey, listen, a lot can change from day to day. As we know, the news is crazier and crazier every single day. So who knows?
It really
Things could change.
Never say never. Well, in keeping with this time of year, the busiest travel time of the year outside of perhaps Thanksgiving week, we have some travel stories to share. The first one I saw, and I can laugh about it because we have ascertained that the person was not harmed. But last Tuesday at Dulles Airport, which is of course right in my backyard, somebody climbed into the baggage carousel area and got stuck there and had to be rescued. Like, what it's hard to imagine what is going through someone's mind when they think, I'm just going to climb into this piece of gigantic machinery that moves thousands and thousands of pounds of baggage. Like, why? To be the first one to get your bag? Like, what is your problem? So they had to call fire and rescue crews, and the person was injured in a minor way, nothing major, but had to be taken to the hospital. What the heck? I wanted to know why, but I haven't seen any follow-up stories.
I have not seen. I looked and looked and looked. I wanted a picture. I wanted to know exactly what this man was thinking. What was his end game? Was his bag not coming out and he wanted to go back and find out what's going on down there?
Right.
Where's the follow-up story?
I don't know. It was all over the local news, obviously, because it was Dulles Airport, but they never followed up on it. So
you have friends at NBC4. You have an NBC4 connections. Call them and say, we need a follow-up story on this story. The people need to know.
I'm friends with Melissa Mollet. I'm friends with
Doug Kammerer.
And you and I are both friends with Chuck Bell. Maybe we should get Chuck Bell to follow up on it.
We'll work on that.
Yeah. Well, so in other travel news, I know that you love this story and you can hardly wait to chime in on it, Scott, but there was a story in the Washington Post about how small bags when you're traveling on an airplane are not supposed to go in the overhead bins. And I don't know about you, but every flight I've been on in the last year, the flight attendants are, kind of have an attitude about it. Like even as you're boarding, they're reminding people like, okay, dumbasses, make sure that there's room for everyone's roll-aboard suitcases. So don't put your small stuff the overhead bins, or there won't be enough room and someone will have to check their bag, like over and over again. And there is no official rule about that. So I think it might be the case that logically, if you think about it, on most planes, if you stack all the roller suitcases this way, that there's more room. Yes.
Yeah.
And logically, although it's uncomfortable, especially if you're over 5 feet tall, the smaller stuff is supposed to go under your feet, where your feet go, under the seat in front of you. But most people, I think, myself included, feel like if there's room over my head where my seat is, I'm putting whatever the hell I want into that space because I paid for it. Right?
So look, we agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, it was did you read the comments on this story? I mean,
Yeah.
They were insane.
They were. They really were. Comments were all over the map, but a lot of people said just what I said. I paid for this seat. If there's room above my head, I am putting my stuff in there and you can go take a flying leap. But from the airline's perspective, moron travelers who stuff their jackets and their purses and their blibbity blah, their laptop things, whatever. Now there's people standing in the aisle who are in boarding group 4 who get on the plane and there's no place for their suitcase to go. And then they're like standing there like, no, what do we do? Gumming up the whole works. So now you're 5 minutes late getting off, away from the gate. I mean, I get it, but it's like, well, guess what? This is what happens when you shrink the space to maximize your profits. Like make the plane 3%, less densely populated with people and you wouldn't have this problem. You'd be on time all the time.
Well, not only that, and the absolute epidemic of people needing to bring their rollerboard on board, every single possession that they're taking on that particular trip is monumental because the airlines now charge the average passenger on that airplane to check their bag. So if the airline wants more people to check their bags, make it part of the cost of doing business.
Great. It's so irritating.
Makes me so mad. And
even if they didn't charge me to take my bag on board, as a frequent traveler, I think I do have that privilege. I still wouldn't do it because I don't trust them. I don't trust them one iota to get my bag and me to the same place at the same time. And who wants to be inconvenienced by arriving someplace and not having any of your stuff? It's a terrible nightmare.
Well, I could say that, except it's never happened to me. I mean, one time my bag didn't make a flight and it was on the very next flight and I got it a couple hours later. But otherwise, my bags have always been exactly where they were supposed to be. So
mine have too, because I haven't checked a bag in 10 years.
Okay, but I'm saying that I do check bags all the time and I've never had a problem with it. And I actually enjoy my time in the airport better if I don't have a friggin' suitcase to lug around, especially if there's delays.
But I wonder if that's because you always fly first class. I would be willing to bet you that first class bags, I'm serious, get priority treatment.
And they are tagged differently. You're right. But I also always have an air tag in my bag, so I know whether or not it's on the airplane before we take off. So,
yeah.
But listen, if I want to put my backpack, what about big coats? It's wintertime. I'm going to be traveling from Las Vegas to Newark, New Jersey, where it's going to be like 20 degrees when I land. Of course, I'm going to have a big, heavy coat. Am I allowed to put that up above? I think so. What am I going to do? Have it in my lap for 5.5 hours? No. Am I going to put it on the floor? No.
The article had a helpful suggestion, Scott. You should roll up your $600 top coat and use it as a pillow while you're on your flight.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I want to do with my expensive coat. Yeah. Well, this is all most of this in this article written by Andrea Sachs at the Washington Post. And I don't know if you started with that this article came from the Washington Post.
I didn't.
She was basically aiming her article at those people that only fly once a year. The people that only fly home for Christmas and they don't have the experience that we have and they don't see what it takes to get from point A to point B. So they're going to make mistakes. So it's just trying to say, listen, this is how it goes. But listen, the airlines don't have any rules about this. There's no rules. There's no law. It's just kind of what they want you to do. But unless they make it an absolute rule, it's not going to happen.
It's like the etiquette of people who travel, even a few times a year. You understand how it works. When you get on the
Yeah.
plane, as you're going down the aisle, especially if you're flying in the back of the plane, Scott, like the rest of us, not the privileged few in the front, you move into your aisle and let people pass you until there's a gap, and then you step back out and put your shit above. You don't hold up the entire plane while you're digging something out of your backpack and get your sister's suitcase and hand it. Like, just move into your aisle.
Kristin, it doesn't matter if you're a seasoned traveler or not. There are lots of people that do that who probably fly every month or several times a month. They still are absolutely rude and ridiculous and don't know how to do things like that. I know how to do it.
I don't know. I think most
I start
people
pulling
who
the
fly
shit
a
out of my
lot.
bag before I even get to my seat. So I know exactly
Exactly.
what little personal items I need in my possession before I put the bag up above.
So that you're quick, yes, because you have situational awareness. Yes.
Right. There
Maybe
you go.
that's the ticket.
And you said something about me being privileged because I get to sit in first class. There's no privilege involved. I'm paying for it. It's hard-earned money.
You're privileged to be able to afford a first class ticket. Is my point.
Not at all. Worked hard for that money. No privilege involved.
Anyway, moving on.
How's that ringing? You know what else people are getting heated up about? This is crazy. And I think they just do this bullshit to get some press. And here we are giving them press. When I first saw this article, I thought it was an Onion article. I really did. You guys all know PETA, what is it?
People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals.
There you go. Their founder, Ingrid Newkirk, sent a letter to Delaware, the state of Delaware, the legislators there, legislators there, because she wants to urge them to draft legislation mandating a law that people have to walk their dog 3 times a day. She wants it to be a law, and she wants one of those walks to be an hour-long walk. Here's quote, PETA is asking the first state to ratify the Constitution to lead the nation in passing respectful legislation for dogs who require mental stimulation, physical exercise, and bathroom breaks just as their guardians do. Unquote. Okay. This is so much fun. Yes, dogs should be walked. Dogs should get the mental stimulation they need. Dogs need physical activity and love and bathroom breaks. But to mandate that you have to take your dog for an hour-long walk and that you have to do it 3 times a day is obviously insanity.
It's preposterous.
I mean, especially for someone like you have a huge backyard where your little dogs could run around till their heart's content. You didn't need to take them for a walk. And they had each other for mental stimulation. So, and I've always had big backyards, especially when my dogs were younger. And I did walk them 3 times a day when I lived in the city where there was no yard. But when you have a big yard, you don't have to walk them, you stupid bitch.
The point is that this is the sort of thing that shouldn't be legislated. This is like, children need all of those things too. Should we pass laws about, how many times a day you have to feed
for 4 hours?
Right. So silly.
It's so silly.
I'm all for stiffening laws around abuse of animals, but trying to legislate the details of how you care for them is preposterous.
Absolutely. And listen, as soon as we're done taping this show today, I'm taking my dogs to daycare. They're going to spend the whole day there, 8 hours of playing with other dogs. We're going to also do that on Saturday because we have a lot going on. So they get plenty of activity, and I don't walk them.
Without a mandate 3
they're
times
also
they
old.
walk.
They're also old, and they don't really need to go for a walk. They go outside, they pee, they come back inside, and they go back to sleep. That's what they do.
Oh, bless their hearts. Well, apropos of nothing, we have another word of the year, Scott, from yet another dictionary company. I think so. Yeah. Merriam. I think I've always said Miriam, but maybe it's Merriam-Webster. Yeah. The noted dictionary, of course, has unveiled their word for 2025, Scott, and it is slop. Slop.
What a beautiful word.
Yeah. And I guess there's a new connotation to it. Of course, that word has been around for a long time. But now, fake content, like creepy, bizarre, zany, very demonstrably fake content online is often referred to as slop. And of course, the proliferation of that word is in part thanks to the widespread availability of generative AI, of
There you
course.
go. Yeah.
And that's why they picked the word. Apparently, oh, you did do a little research here on the genealogy, or the etymology, I should say, of slop. It was first used in the 1700s to refer to soft mud, but it has evolved to generally now refer to something that is of little value.
Just like the Swish edition. Yeah.
But at least we're not making this stuff up.
Oh.
The dictionary's president, Merriam-Webster's president, says that the spike in searches for the word reflects that people have grown more aware of fake or shoddy content and desire the inverse. I think that's definitely true. Merriam-Webster has selected one word every year since 2003 to capture and make sense of the current moment. Last year, shortly after the U.S. presidential election and amid the shifting national mood, Merriam-Webster chose the word polarization. Isn't that interesting? Some other words in the running this year were, God help us, 6-7, tariffs, conclave, gerrymandering, and performative.
Yeah,
fascinating.
All great words for 2025. You know, it's crazy. We used the word slop last week in the show. We were talking about slop recipes, which a lot of people are blaming on AI. They're, hey, make me a recipe for beef stew because I need to post something today, and it's a completely untested recipe that doesn't work and tastes like shit.
That makes no sense. Yeah.
So I'll tell you, I have 2 recipes I'm going to be posting on my website later this week, Kristin. I tested both of them, one last night and one the night before that. And I made many notes, and I'm going to try another one tonight again to make some adjustments. So I'm actually not using AI to create my recipes, and I make sure they work. It's not slop. But
wait, but are you starting with a recipe that you found somewhere and then doing things to make it your own, or are you making things up from scratch?
Well, yeah. I have done some stuff from scratch. I'm also using old family recipes that my mom has been using for years and years and years, and she's handed down to me. I've taken ones that my sister gave me, and I've altered those. And then I'm famously starting now, especially early next year, I'm going to be testing some very famous recipes by people like Julia Child and Martha Stewart, and see if I can replicate them at home following the directions exactly. And then give my report.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
I love that idea. And some people criticize that.
They don't always work.
It's true. And some people I've seen people criticize content creators and say, you know, I've been making that Julia Child recipe for, 50 years, whatever. No kidding. Well, what I'm telling you is this was my experience with the recipe. I think as long as you give credit to the original recipe creator, it's fine to say, here's my version of Julia Child's beef bourguignon.
Guess what? You can't get a copyright on a recipe. So someone could come after you and say, hey, that's my exact recipe. And I'm like, really? How hard is it? I mean, those are the ingredients for French bread, you stupid butthole. I mean, that's how you make it. It's really okay. I mean, unless you're the one that came up with the cronut, okay, I'll give you that.
Right.
You know, I can't say, hey, Scott's cronuts, can I? No.
I don't know.
But I can say, hey, I'm Scott, and I tried making a cronut at home, and here's how it went. Yeah.
Sure.
And I don't think they can do anything about that. Anyway, I have a word for 2025. Can we have the Swish edition word for 2025?
Have you ever heard of shared in public?
No. Well, yeah, it's right on the script. All you have to do is read it. Have you ever heard of the word lollipops?
No.
What's a lollipop, Kristin?
I have no idea. I'm scared to ask.
Right. I learned it on Saturday Night Live this past Saturday night, and it was one of the few times that I literally LOL'd, laughed out loud. It just caught me so funny. So one character said something about lollipops, and the other character said, what the hell is a lollipop? And he held up this bag of lollipop tops, just the lollipop tops without the stick. And he said lollipops. I laughed so hard. He said, it's for when you want to suck on something, but you don't want to hold it. I mean, isn't that funny? Lollipops. It's the first time I ever heard that word. I mean, certainly there are things like that, like the everlasting gobstopper, which would be like a lollipop, right? That doesn't have a stick. But isn't that just classic?
It's essentially just hard candy. So wait, but I'm confused. Is it a real thing? Is it a real thing, or did they make it up?
They just made it up and then they gave it a word. Okay. I mean, I'd never heard lollipops before. So I just thought it was really, really, really funny. So I had to tell you. And I think it should be Swish Edition's word of the year. Lollipops. Okay.
Great.
Now go tell your family about lollipops. You have to, right? It's too funny. All right. Moving on, because it is Christmas. And I don't know about you. I don't know about Washington, D.C. area, the metro area. But here in Vegas, we love a pop-up. Pop-ups are everywhere. And one of the things they're doing is really doing a lot of Christmas pop-ups. We have the Mariah Carey pop-up that I think we talked about because she's doing a residency here for Christmas. There's one at Mandalay Bay at the Flanker that is all Christmas movie related. There's another one at the ski lodge at Cosmo, which is doing all kinds of Christmassy drinks. They're Christmas pop-up bars. But here's a pop-up that I think is so fun. Home Alone's Little Nero's Pizza. Everybody knows, if you're a fan of Home Alone, you know Little Nero's Pizza, right? They're doing a pop-up in cities like Chicago, Los Angeles, and here in Las Vegas to honor the Christmas movies 35th anniversary, which is this year, which is kind of cool. So in Chicago, for example, they took over Fulton Market's Prince Street Pizza and turned it into Little Nero's as of last Wednesday. You can get a lovely cheese pizza all for yourself. The restaurant has Little Nero's pizza boxes, updated menus, and collectible packaging. They're also renaming their classic cheese pizza to the Lovely Cheese Pizza, which is perfect because that's what Kevin wanted. That's what he wanted, right?
That's right.
Anyway, if you go, you need to go today, Kristin. You need to go today because December 17th is the last day. Why?
I wonder why.
That makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense that today would be the last day. Go till Christmas Eve, you dumb buns.
Yeah, they'd make a lot more money if they did.
Yeah.
Well, there's another pop-up in New York City, which is, of course, the ever-popular Friends-inspired Central Perk Coffee House. I would love to go to this. They opened it in Times Square last Friday, December 12th. So it's got, the big expansive windows, replicas of the famous green couch, right? And menu items such as, quote, the one with NYC matcha, which is a layered iced matcha latte with oat milk, strawberry puree, and a cream cheese cold foam that, when stirred, channels strawberry matcha cheesecake. That sounds like very over the top. Another item is the New York Relaxy Taxi Tall Iced Cooler, which is lemonade and iced green tea with lavender syrup and sparkling water, finished with a lemon wheel for a very on-theme taxi yellow pop. Plus things like Chandler's chocolate cold foam latte, Princess Consuela's banana mocha, and an oh my god cold brew. There's even a meat stacked sandwich called the Triviani, created by celebrity chef Tom Colicchio. Of course, Friends aired for 10 seasons between 1994 and 2004. Central Perk won't last that long, but that would be super fun.
Yeah, it certainly won't be won't be around that long, but because I can't imagine what the rent is on that huge space right there in Times Square. Yeah.
Yikes!
I'm going to be in Times Square on Monday. Well, I don't know. I'm going to be close by. I don't think I'm going to go into Times Square. I don't think I need to do that, but I will be at Rockefeller Center.
Well, it would be fun. It would be so fun. You should.
Yeah, I'm excited. We're going to do. I asked my sister if we could do Home Alone things, like go to like famous Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, like the Plaza Hotel. Guess what? You can't walk into the Plaza Hotel anymore just as a tourist looking around. If you're not staying there or going to one of the restaurants, you can't just walk in, which I think is kind of shitty. Because in the olden days, you could just do it. And now, because so many people just stream through there, they had to stop people from doing it.
Couldn't you just lie and say, oh, I want to go find out about a reservation?
Yeah, I guess you could do that. But then you'd be a liar. And then Santa wouldn't bring you any gifts on Christmas
Then you'd
Eve.
be on the naughty list for sure.
Well, that reminds me, I was going to ask you, what do you and Max leave for Santa Claus on Christmas Eve?
We leave
would it be,
cookies.
Wait, would it be a Chandler's chocolate cold foam latte?
No. Although that's not a bad idea. Maybe Santa
Not
could
a
use
bad
caffeine
idea.
more than milk. But
Right.
we usually leave cookies and milk for Santa and carrots for the reindeer. Although last year, Mom forgot to make sure we had carrots in the refrigerator, so we couldn't leave. And that was very upsetting. But yeah.
You know, they make these things, I don't know if you know, they're called Post-it notes. And you could write little notes to yourself so you don't forget to do things you're supposed to do.
Well, you know what? The other thing is
clean up, throw up underneath the toilet.
Let's not talk about it, dear.
You don't want to tell the story.
So I mean, whatever. We're going to gross people out. I hope they're not eating while they're listening to this. But Max has a cough, and I don't know. This frequently happens to him that he coughs so hard he makes himself throw up. So that's what happened last night. We were watching a Christmas movie. We were watching Christmas Chronicles 2 with Kurt Russell and
so cute.
Goldie Hawn, adorable. And he was coughing and coughing, and then he ran to the bathroom and he threw up a little bit. And then I walked away to get something, and all of a sudden I heard, "Mama, there's a big mess and I'm really sorry." He said that it just came out of him like a fire hose and he couldn't direct it. Yes.
Wow.
There was throw up on the wall, behind the toilet, under the vanity. And the worst part is that it went under the baseboard. So I was down there with Lysol and 409, and it was a disaster of epic proportions.
You should have called the hazmat crew in to clean that up.
Awful. Just awful.
That is just bananas.
I don't know why you wanted me to tell that story.
Well, Dale and I used to own a clothing store in Washington, D.C. called Avenue Jack. And we had a bathroom in the back off of the storeroom that was not open to the public. And we did not let customers use it unless we knew them, right? Of course, we let friends use it. These two people came in, a man and a woman. They were probably in their 20s. And they just begged us. And we're like, there's a Starbucks next door. And they're like, there's a line. We have to go. And I'm like, fine. So I took them back there. They went in together. And then I was like, and locked the door. And I was like, no, shit, this is a huge mistake. When they finally came out, they left quickly and didn't buy anything. And Dale went in there. There was throw up everywhere, not in the toilet. It was all over the floor and on the wall. We think maybe they were on drugs or something, because who in their right mind would do such a horrific, nasty thing like that?
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that awful?
Yes.
After that, I said, go around back and go to the alley and poop on the ground. I don't care. You're not using our bathroom. Or I even told some people, we don't have a bathroom. We use the Starbucks next door.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Just lie. Terrible.
Never, ever again after that did we ever let him. And maybe this is going to be edited out of the show because this is not the stories I wanted to tell today. Did I not promise the people? Did I not promise the people that we wouldn't talk about personal things this week?
You did.
So how about this for a transition? Kristin, how much should a real Christmas tree cost? Here in the southwest corner of Las Vegas, I was surprised by this number, and apparently this is not that uncommon. There is a lot just around the corner near my supermarket with 8-foot Christmas trees, live Christmas trees, and they're selling them for $99. And I thought that was insanity. I thought that was $99 for a Christmas tree. Seems ridiculous to me. But the national average for a live Christmas tree is $10 a foot. So if you're bringing home a 7-foot tree, that's $70. 8-foot tree, $80. That seems so high to me. But get this, in a city like New York City, where, there's not a lot of Christmas tree farms, You can pay $120 to $140 on average for a Christmas tree. And most of them aren't 7 or 8 feet tall because people don't have that kind of space in a New York City apartment. Now,
we haven't bought a live tree in a long time, so I don't know.
I know. Me either. But this is what surprised me, because I was like, well, I have an artificial tree. All of my tree, I have 5 Christmas trees, and they're all artificial Christmas trees. And I'm like, you have an artificial Christmas tree. My mom and dad have 2 artificial Christmas trees. And I'm like, well, how many people are buying real Christmas trees? It turns out last year, Americans bought 25 to 30 million live Christmas trees. And stores like Lowe's and Balsam Hill sold about 20 million artificial trees last year, most of which come from China.
Wow.
But guess what? They last a long, long time. You don't have to put them out on the street to be recycled after. So
right. And they're pre-lit, which saves you so much time.
They just can quickly be pre-lit.
Looked up, yes, which is the main benefit, in my opinion. I just quickly looked up near me. Walmart has a 5 to 6 foot Fraser fir for $65. That's probably the best price you'll find around here.
Yeah, that's funny that you Googled that and that it's available online. I guess everything's available online. You could probably buy a Christmas tree online and have someone bring it to your house.
You can. I'm looking at a DoorDash link where they'll deliver a 4 foot one to you for $45.
Hey, listen, I have friends here in Vegas who pay a professional crew to come to decorate their house for Christmas. It's a lot of money too. We're talking like $1,000 an hour, and they can bring stuff. They can bring their own stuff and decorate your whole house inside and out, or they can use your stuff. Talk about lazy. I think it's so fun to decorate the house for Christmas.
It's not laziness. They have tons of stuff going on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to plug. My friend Kelly has oh my gosh, Kelly, where is it? I can't find it. I wanted to plug her business because she's doing things like this. She's doing like helping people with random stuff. Like if you're getting ready for a Christmas party, I'll come over and help you set up your house. If you want help decorating, and she's helping someone right now to put up like tons and tons of decorations. And I wanted to plug her website, and I'm sorry, Kelly, I can't find it. I'll say it next time we're on the air.
Well, it'll be too late.
That's a big thing. No, because she's not just doing it for Christmas. She's doing it for anything.
Yeah.
Like any sort of home help that you need, like organizing, purging.
How do you purge someone else's house? I mean, I wouldn't let someone purge my closet. That's so crazy.
Well, no. You have to make the decisions. An organization person can help you have some structure to it.
Hey, you don't need 7 green sweaters.
Yes.
Guess how many green sweaters I have, Kristin?
I don't know, probably 20.
God, you're so stupid. Do you listen to what I say?
No, usually not. Why? Did you already say that earlier in the show?
I said I had 7 green sweaters.
I wasn't paying attention. But anyway, I'm screwing up what Kelly's business is. It's helping with anything. She's not necessarily just focused on organizing. She also can run errands and do concierge service kind of stuff. And I'm going to kick myself when I remember the name of her thing as soon as we stop taping. Anyway.
Were you talking? I wasn't listening to you.
Yeah, it's okay.
But I did want to finish up my section by... Okay. I did want to finish up my section by saying for every one Christmas tree that's chopped down, if you're feeling bad about getting a real one, farmers in the United States plant 3 for every one that they cut down.
That's good. That's
and
a
my
good
sister
fact.
Laura, and my brother-in-law Jay, they will be having a real Christmas tree. So I will be judging them when I get there. If they picked a good one.
Good for them. Well, from Christmas trees, Scott, to upside down pineapples, Carnival Cruise Lines is cracking down on upside down pineapples. So apparently, an upside down pineapple displayed on your cabin door when you're on a cruise ship means that the people staying in that room are swingers and that they're looking to, have some relations with others. Yes. So Carnival says this has gotten completely out of hand. Too many people know what this means now. And we're a family cruise line, for heaven's sake. So they're banned. They're banning them. They're not going to throw you off the ship, but all the cabin attendants have been instructed to take them down and put them inside the cabin with a note that says, "Calm down, people. This is not that kind of a cruise." What do you think of that?
Kristin did not write. Kristin did not say the line that I wrote for her to say. I wrote, quote, "Calm down, whores. It's not that kind of cruise," unquote. And Kristin refused to say it. Now, I don't script everything, but when I think of something funny, I script it and I expect her to read it as written. But no, it doesn't always happen.
I don't ever read it as written. Whatever.
Well, let me say something about upside down. First of all, I had pineapples on the brain because I remembered Kristin and I both grew up in Williamsburg, Virginia, where in the colonial days, they used a lot of fruit like fresh apples and pineapples and pomegranates to decorate for Christmas. And for years, my family would make these very elaborate garlands and wreaths with real live pineapples on them because pineapples were a symbol of hospitality, and they still are. That's
right.
Especially in places like Williamsburg, Virginia. So I always think of pineapples when I think of Christmas, and I might actually do this for my Christmas dinner display, a pineapple with a ring of apples around it. Wouldn't that be pretty with some greenery?
Yes.
Anyway.
But I guess you run the risk of people thinking that you're barking up a different tree.
No, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So is Dale. We're okay with that.
Oh my God.
Now, we have been on both straight and gay cruises. Let me tell you that if it's a chartered gay cruise, the cabin attendants will not be taking the pineapples off the door. I'll tell you that. It's allowed on an adults only cruise. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. I guess that's it. How do we end on that? I don't know. I think maybe I need to restructure these outlines. Before anyone criticizes us, I do realize that a lot of horrific things have happened in the United States and around the world since the last time we talked to you. And it's not that we're unfeeling and don't have a lot to say about those type of things, but it's not that kind of show. And you guys are getting that everywhere else. We have thoughts, but we're not going to share them with you. Just don't want you to think we don't know what's happening. We do know what's happening, and we feel very deeply about things that are happening around us and people that are affected by those things. So just want to get that out of the way, Kristin. And I feel especially this week, because this week has been so horrific on so many levels in the world that I just can't even.
It's a heavy feeling world right now. And I said to Scott before we started taping this, I'm so not in the right mindset to be lighthearted and do this today. But at the end of the show, it actually helped me to have a few moments of levity. So hopefully it helped someone who was listening to kind of break out of that for a few minutes at least.
There you go. And the only reason I said that is because we do from time to time get criticism that we didn't talk about something major that happened in the world. And that's not what we do on this show. So
yeah.
Anyway, I want to remind everybody that Kristin and I are going to be off next week for Christmas and the week after that for New Year's. And then 2 more weeks after that because there's a lot going on. So we'll be off for 4 weeks. And the show will be back on Wednesday, January 1st for our 499th episode.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
I also want to tell you, Kristin, Dale and I are going on a very hush-hush secret trip in early January before we come back from our hiatus. I can't tell you about it now, but I'm very, very excited about it. And I will tell you guys all about it when I come back. So
how
when
exciting.
we're back. So I want to wish everyone who listens to the show all year long, thank you for listening to the show and watching us on YouTube. If you're not watching us on YouTube, what's wrong with you? Because I know you're not watching it. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And may 2026 be a prosperous and civil one. Please, civil for all of us.
Hear, hear.
Do you agree? Yeah, hear.
Absolutely.
Hey, Kristin, I'm sorry we're not going to be together for Christmas this year or New Year's, but I know we'll be talking a lot. And I wish you
of course.
And your loved ones and even the people you hate, I wish them all Merry Christmas.
Same to you. I love you. And can't wait to get back to the show in January. Okay, bye.
Yep. Bye, guys.
The Swish Edition is a production of Bethwick Media, LLC. Learn more about the show at swishedition.com. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcast app or site. But only if you like us.
So, I text the script to I send it in the text message to Max's iPad in the text exchange between Max and me. The last message before this was a message that he sent me on Monday morning last week at 8:35 that says, Max mama, big poop, big chicken nuggets, poop, 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 poo, penis. That's what my year-old is sending me at 8:30 in the morning.
Letting you know that he had a big poop? Was that the genesis of it?
I don't know. I think it was just potty words to, ruffle my feathers, along with chicken nuggets. I don't know where that came from.
Chicken nuggets can cause poops. That's for damn sure.
It's true.